Okay, people, in this video we are going to review what we already discussed in class about the basic shape of the human head and the primary guidelines for maintaining correct proportion and symmetry in our facial features for our self-portrait. Now, to begin, the basic shape of the head, as we discussed before, is kind of a circular oval shape, or more specifically, like an egg, an upside down egg, where the top of the head, the brow, is wider than the point of the chin, right? And to do that, we're going to use our pencils just to make some really light, loose, arching lines. And the motion's only going to come from our wrist to begin with, all right? Now, I like to hold my pencil a little bit different than I would if I'm doing my math homework or signing my name. So I'm not going to hold my pencil this way, but I'm going to hold the pencil closer to the back in between my forefinger and my middle finger. Now for you, you need to kind of figure out what's comfortable for you. But the advantage to holding it this way is I'm applying naturally I'm applying lighter pressure to my paper, so my lines will come out a little bit lighter, easier to erase, and I'm just it keeps things a little bit looser as I'm kind of feeling out my drawing. To begin though, we want to just kind of practice some of those arching lines that I was describing that kind of make that outer line, the outer shape of the face. And to do that, again, we're using just the wrist, that arching motion. So take an extra piece of paper. This isn't what we're going to be drawing on, just an extra piece of paper, and kind of practice some of these arching lines. Right? Now I'm going down and back up. You can go just down, that's fine. It's just whatever's comfortable for you. I'm kind of just feeling it out. Once you kind of have a feel for that, then we can go ahead and apply that to our actual drawing. Now be aware, in our drawings, we don't want to come too close to the top of the page or too close to the bottom of the page. All right? We don't want our chin to be coming off the edge or the top of our head to be kind of disappearing off the paper. A little bit more space at the bottom of the page because we will be drawing the neck and the shoulders eventually. So to begin, that arching motion, something just like that. Looks good. I'm just going to rotate my paper 180 degrees, and the same idea, a little bit thinner or at the bottom of that point of the chin. Whoops. Something like that, all right? Now as you can see, the top is still open and the bottom is still open. I'm just going to go ahead and do a shorter line to kind of connect the two at the top. Rotate again, smaller line even to connect the two at the bottom. Voila, all right? Doesn't look like a face really, but again, just the basic shape is all we're aiming for at the moment. Now, what we want to ensure though is that we have symmetry. So the first thing we're going to do, or the next thing we're going to do, is find the middle line, the center line of the face. Now, if you're comfortable just going ahead and drawing that line, you can, but we really want to be sure that our line is right in the middle of that face. And we're going to do that by taking our pencil and marking what we think is the middle of the drawing with the back of the pencil here, and then our fingers go on the pencil that the length of the pencil that's just at the edge of the paper, as you can see, right? So that looks like it's about halfway. Now I'm going to move my pencil, the fingers go to where the middle mark was, back of the pencil's on the opposite side of the page. That looks pretty good for the middle then. Mark that. Same idea, move that down, maybe mark it again. Move that down to the chin. Halfway again, mark it, right? Draw a nice line connecting that together. All right. So, it's always good to measure twice. Halfway, halfway. All right, looks good. Next, what we want to do is mark off the top and the bottom of the chin, the top of the head. So go ahead, draw that line, and we can label that top of head. All right, and then same thing with the bottom of the chin. Label it bottom of chin. All right. Now, I did that just, eyeballing it. If you're not comfortable doing that, take your pencil again, measure it, make sure that line is straight, right? So I've got the back of the pencil on that line. My fingers are marking the edge of the paper and just sliding that along. All right? That looks pretty straight. I'm okay. You don't want your lines to be going drastically low to high or high to low, all right? Be sure your lines are straight. That's really important to maintain correct proportion and symmetry for the self-portrait. Now, once we've marked off the top of the head, bottom of the chin, we found that center line, the center of the face, we want to find the center of the face going from top to bottom now, all right? Now, I might just eyeball it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line across, eyeballing it, but always check what we've done. So, marking back of the pencil on the middle line, marking my fingers at the bottom of the chin, move that pencil up, fingers go to the center line, and I can see that my eyeballing was not accurate. So what I want to do now is redraw that line a little bit lower. Check it again. Back of the pencil, my new middle line, fingers at the bottom of the chin, looks good there. Move it up, fingers now at my new middle line, back of the pencil, top of the head, even. That's what we want to see. Nice and even all the way across. Nice and even at the bottom, all the way across. All right. Now, to eliminate any confusion from here, go ahead and erase that first middle line that was not accurate. Keep it clean. All right. Now, I just want to say really quickly, if you feel like your face might not be as wide as your own face is for your self-portrait, don't get too caught up with that right now. There'll be time to go on later on and kind of make adjustments according to what you see in the mirror. But for right now, we're just going to use a kind of a general, generic facial structure shape for the head. Next, we want to find the, this middle line. What does it mark? You guys remember? This halfway mark from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin is going to be the eyes, right? That's where the middle of the eyes are going to be going. Now, from the top of the head to the eyes, we want to find a halfway mark again. I'm just putting out a little dot on my page, measuring that out. Back of the pencil to the fingers, move the fingers up to the middle line. That looks pretty good. Now that line, actually I'm going to do this one more time. Mark it, bring it over here, mark a little line there, over here, bring that over here, mark it, little line right here. All right. That line there, what's that going to be? Halfway from the top of the head to the eyes. That will be the hairline, right? Where your hair begins to grow, separating from your brow. Same idea, all right? So we have 1/4 of the way down from the top of the head, going towards the eyes, is the hairline. 1/4 of the way up from the bottom of the chin, going towards the eyes, again, is going to be another proportion line. And what's that going to mark is the top of the lip, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to eyeball this one and see how good I am. A little bit wobbly, but that's okay. Let's see here. Measuring it though. Measuring it looks okay there. All right. A little wobbly, but still pretty accurate. I'll just kind of clean that up just a little bit. that's going to be the top of the lip we said, right? Top of lip. There we go. All right, so now we got the head, the basic shape. We got our main center line dividing the face into left and right sides. We got our next center line here dividing the face top and bottom, but more importantly, marking for the eyes. We also have a quarter line from top to bottom marking where the hair is going to begin. And then we have another quarter line going from the bottom to the top, marking the top of the lip. So again, looking back over here, what we're seeing is that center line, right? The center line that divides top and bottom for marking in the middle of the eyes. The hairline, even though we have no hair on this drawing, the hairline, top of the lip will be here, right? All right. What's next, after we divide it by quarters, is we're going to divide it by thirds to mark more features of the human face. Coming from a third of the way down from the top of the head, oh, excuse me. What was I doing? Let's do this right. Third would be past that quarter line, right? 1/4, 1/3. So I'm just kind of eyeballing right now. And what's that 1/3 line marking? You guys remember? That's going to be the brow line, right? I'm going to mark it on this side here. The brow line. Now that's kind of like the center of the forehead, right? The center of the forehead. Next, after the brow line, we're going to have 1/3 of the way coming from the bottom of the chin upwards to mark, again, another important facial feature. And what's that going to be? That's for the nose. This will be the bottom of the nose. Get that in there. Bottom of the nose right here. So, this is what we're aiming for right here. Doesn't look like a face, but this is definitely the template we want to have created before we go any further with our self-portrait. It's so important that we measure this, and that's why I was showing you guys with your pencil how to accurately measure with your pencil and the edge of the paper, finding the center line, making sure that our center line is even on both sides, along with our other structure lines, making sure that those are accurately drawn, even parallel to the edges of the paper. All right? If you don't have your basic guidelines well constructed, you're going to have a real hard time maintaining good proportion in your self-portrait. So be sure you take your time, be patient with yourself. If it starts to get a little bit too crazy and get too many lines or too scribbly, don't hesitate to use the eraser. You can always go back and kind of eliminate any lines that are really confusing your drawing. But be sure you get those guidelines down correctly and measure it out correctly, and you're going to have so much more success with making a self-portrait that you're happy with. Okay, guys? So the next video, we'll start looking at how to add the facial features into our self-portraits. Just a reminder of what we've done in class, but one step at a time. All right, you guys, be patient and enjoy. Thanks.